What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be wrapping my Lexus ISF. I haven't wrapped this car since a year and a half ago when I did it in rose gold. I did it in my old garage at my old place and it wasn't that presentable. But now we have a nicer environment with better lighting and I'm going to go ahead and do a different twist to the video. I'm actually going to keep it running while I show you guys how to wrap this. There might be some snippets if it cuts out or whatever, so I can do that in post-production. But today we're going to be wrapping my car in Vivid Vinyl's Gloss Demon, aka Nebula Red. So as you can see, I already took off the side skirt, the mirror, the door handles, and the trim. That's usually what I want to do. I want full coverage on this without cutting any corners. So I went ahead and did that. We prepped the whole panel down with some alcohol. You could run it with clay bar, but since my car was already clean and detailed prior to it, I don't really need to do that. So I'm just gonna do a quick run over on the panel. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this vinyl over this. I already pre-cut it and we're gonna get started on this. So what we're gonna need today, I'm gonna be using Vivid's wrap glove, Vivid's blade, as you can see right here, a new squeegee. This is a 3M squeegee with an elephant squeegee buffer. I think that's what you call it. Also, we're going to be using a heat gun, of course, any one that you like. I prefer something that's a little bit warmer and hotter. And we're going to use Vivid's shield. This is going to protect the buffer, the elephant buffer, from putting love marks or fine marks onto the vinyl when I go ahead and squeegee it down. It does have a cap on the vinyl, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do the whole entire car with the cap on. So what I like to do is just pull the cap off after I position. Glass as much as I can, spray on the Vivid shield and go to town. So let's get started. So you're going to also use some magnets. Make sure you get some magnets. I got mine on Amazon or eBay, I can't remember, and they were fairly affordable. It was like a vinyl wrap kit that you can purchase. As you can see, I cut this pretty damn close to the edge right here. So I'm hoping I can get this all in one go. That's why I have the heat gun, not only to post heat corners, but also to stretch this out just very slightly. But there you go, there's the color. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? So I'm gonna go ahead and position this. I think everything is good. It's pretty close to the edge, which is what I want. Maybe I can raise it up a little bit. Yeah, because I have plenty of room down here. But I just want to make sure I get full coverage. I can always stretch this out later, which is what's great with vinyl. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave the cap on. I think I usually like to take it off right away, but I'm going to leave the cap on and we're going to start removing the backing. One thing to note, when you do remove the backing on the vinyl, it does cause a little bit of static. So make sure your area is clean at all times. Get that out of the way. Keeping the vinyl very close to the car. Don't want too much or too far away from the panel in case the static pick anything up. There we go. Just gonna leave that on the side for now. But as you can see, I gotta reposition this. So I'm gonna leave that there for now and reposition this down. Ooh. Yeah, I think the cap is causing a lot of static because I'm getting shocked just lifting up the vinyl. So put magnets back on that side because I'm going to reposition this side. Yep. Very, very, very staticky. Okay, so seems I'm a little off. I'm going to move it up just right here. Okay, looks a little better. I'm gonna go and remove the cap, I think, in a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to squeegee this out. So since, let's see, yeah, I'm using a buffer. So since I have the cap on, I'm not gonna bother using the fresh squeegee because it has a protective layer on it. I'm gonna use an older squeegee that's decent, but not anywhere as good as new. But I am gonna go ahead and sprinkle the Vivid Shield on here, just a couple squirts, just to get it a little lubricated. See, I can't edit these videos. I'm gonna do it one take. I'm gonna try to do it one take, so we'll see how it goes. So right now I'm just trying to go to the body line here on top. I'm gonna pop this out a little bit because I need the air to get chased out of the door. So right now it's all locked into almost all the corners of the door, so I gotta chase that vinyl out, or the air out of the vinyl. So looking pretty good there. Now I have a lot of air right here, so that means I might have to actually turn my phone off, sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and lift from the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off because it's just gonna fall over. Magnet on both sides on top, very essential when you're messing with this stuff. Also, there's a lot of static on this from the cap, so I'm gonna go ahead and just work my way out. Move the cap up. So here I'm gonna put some tension by the door handle just to get this kind of smooth. I'm gonna need heat to straighten that out. But right now, just working my way out. The one thing about vinyl that I think you guys should practice on is overlapping your strokes. Because sometimes you think you got it all down, but you don't. Some vinyl requires more overlapping than the others. So put some more of this on here. As you can see, I'm just starting from the middle out and working my way down, getting all that out. Sometimes I overlap it if I don't feel confident enough that it's fully covered. See, like right now, you can kind of hear it. I mean, even though you kind of hear the cap, the clear cap on it, I can really hear the air bubbles getting trapped and moving. So, see, just there. Right there, so worries me, so I'm gonna go up a little bit. Go. I'm actually quite surprised I was able to do all this with the cap still on. But I guess because the door is really flat for the most part, so it's actually quite easy. Now I'm just squeegeeing down. You can glide across as well. It just depends on the situation. Here the bottom of the door curves a little bit, so. Okay, just going over again, being a little bit more aggressive this time. So I have the cap on, so it's fine. You know, I'm not going to damage it too much, if anything. What you could do is spray some Vivid Shield on the buffer, and it'll be fine. So there you go. The bottom of the door is laid out. Now you could move the magnet down a little bit. I'm just going to get it out of the way. We don't need it anymore. So now we're going to move to the top. So I'm going to bring the camera in just a little bit. So now we reach the top of the door. Again, want to be very careful with this. I'm going to try to work out the bubbles from the body line up. So I kind of start halfway here and I kind of roll it in. So just because you don't know if there's any small bubble lines or bubble air or air bubbles stuck on the edge that you need to roll into the next panel to get it all out. So now we're reaching here to this, what do you call this, where the side mirror sits. So there, it's good to just kind of hold the tension and try to lay it as flat as possible, like that. See? Don't force the vinyl into places it doesn't want to go. Heat always helps when manipulating vinyl, but for the most part, you should lay everything in room temperature, like this. Okay, so now we're on the next body line. Like I said, I'm just gonna roll it in. Just like that. Start from here and roll it in. Using your thumb to push into the center of the squeegee and your pinky and ring finger, or pinky and index finger, to kind of flex it on the opposite direction. You kind of have like this weird way of holding it, but to me I find that to be very helpful in keeping the squeegee stable, or flexing it for the most part. So you see my hands are back here. I'm kind of pulling it out just to help the vinyl escape some of those bubbles in there. So okay, so this buffer is very thin, so it's pretty much manipulating the edge of the squeegee. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, it's almost like carving it into this edge, and that's gonna really help finish up this door right here, because that's going to keep any air from getting out and expanding over time. So once you get there, you can just squeegee it up to the line. And the reason why I do that, because there's this little line here where the trim sits, and if I squeegee and wrap up to that line and cut and put the trim on, it's going to hold this and seal it up, make it look very nice. So there we go. Pretty damn easy, huh? The only thing I have to do now is heat this door panel up right here and get this to sit a lot flatter into this part right here. I did it with chrome without damaging, which is pretty fantastic. So we'll go ahead and do that in a little bit. I just got to figure out what I'm doing first. I do have a little bit of bubble here, so I got to figure that out. It's gonna be really hard to see, but I have like a little like pocket here, and it's because I have these two dimples from the actual what do you call it? I got the dimple from the plastic underneath the door handle. So I'm gonna have to trim or alleviate this a little bit. So I'm just gonna start from this top and go all the way down, and hopefully I can roll this over and flatten that out. Get my squeegee ready. There you go. Same with the top. Perfect. So I was able to cut a line from one tip to the other and push it in, and then now it lays flat. Now I do have some problems right here with another piece, but I'm gonna try to flatten it out here on this edge. So the cap is giving me some problems. I gotta remove the cap now. You might get shocked by doing this, but just be careful. Be very careful. I personally don't like getting shocked or burned, so we'll see how this goes. And it's going to make this color look a lot better on the camera, I think, once I remove this cap, because the cap's a little fuzzy. Ooh, look at static. See, I wasn't lying about it. A lot of static on this color, or the cap in general. But you know what? It's good that vinyls are able to, or Vivid was able to give this color with the cap on it. Ooh. Ooh. I was afraid I was gonna get shocked, to be honest. Okay, so now the cap is gone. I'm gonna see if I'm able to work this edge in right here. I think I'm gonna have to pop open the door and work on that, but for the time being, just gonna leave it, and we're gonna start trimming. You can see I've already got this up to the edge. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I put it in there with no tension, so I really don't have to heat this. I could post heat after for insurance. But I'm going to start right here in this corner. Find a nice little edge. And then just puncture that. Okay. And then glide it. Glide the blade. So you see I have the glass up. I was actually supposed to put it down before I actually wrapped this, but I totally forgot about it. So my blade isn't sticking out as much as I want. It's just enough. That's perfectly fine. So this is where the heat gun will come in handy to post heat and get this all sitting completely flat and sealed down. But actually, let's get this piece off right here so it doesn't cause any problems. If you're wondering how the adhesive looks, as you can see, it is black as a base with clear adhesive. And then there's layering of the pearl. It's a really beautiful color. Trying to see if I can focus on here. It's a really, really beautiful color. I'm so happy I chose this color, honestly. And even the back, I'm very happy with this thick vinyl too, because it's going to protect it from rock, chips, and things like that over time. My only concern is being able to get this film or this vinyl again if anything were to happen. So it is a high demand color right now, so I'm hoping I can keep this for a year or two, maybe 2 years, because I honestly like this color a lot. Again, super easy. So the blade right here is kind of like it has like a triangle edge, like most blades. So there is a higher spot here that you have to use to glide around the body line, and that's going to prevent you cutting into the paint or you know, scraping some of the paint off. So what I like to do is stick it in like a corner like this, and then just kind of push it a little bit, if that makes sense. Like you're pushing the blade into the edge, and that's going to actually help you cut a nice thin clean line. Of course, when you get around corners like this, you got to get down to the skinnier part of the blade, but for bigger panels and stuff like that, or bigger lines or edges, I like to keep it like really close in like that. But if it gets to a corner like complex like right here, you want to go out a little more. So blading is something you need to practice over time. I don't know if you want to call it cutting or blading. I like calling it blading. Sounds kind of cool. So that's something you need to practice on. Find a crappy car or just something not valuable and practice cutting with it. Like even here, see how I'm like using my fingers to manipulate the blade around. Just very gently. Let it do all the work. Same with here. Also, having a very, very sharp blade is key, because if you want it to glide, you're going to need a sharp blade, right? So there we go. That's all cut out. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So same method, like I said, you're going to have to cut onto or use this fender as a guide. Since you're wrapping the door, you're going to use the fender as a guide. Ooh, let me make sure I get all that out. Okay, so what I like to do is start right here on the top, not too far off, but gonna puncture it, push with your thumb the blade against the fender, keeping it very, very straight. And just glide it against the fender. As long as the big body of the blade is sitting against the fender, you're not going to cut into anything. So that's very important. Gonna just trim off the excess right here. Alright guys, so we are on the last stretch of this whole install. I'm gonna have to use the heat glove, a wrap glove that I have from Vivid here. Very nice. I've been using this eBay cheap one and it's too thin and it sucks. It scratches easily and whatever. So Vivid sent me this to try out and we'll see how it goes. It's pretty nice, good fit. So I'm gonna start heating this up because I actually have to open this door. And the only way to open the door is get into this little piece right here. So for this setting, I have it high blasting and also on like a hot medium setting. So I'm just gonna heat this up and soften it up a little bit. The key to this is to try to get the lowest point in first. So I know my lowest point is going to be right here. So now that I have to seal that part off, so start working it in. Alright, so as you can see, I got it in. The reason why I had to seal this part off, start working this out, is to get this, most of the vinyl and the tension to go into this, like feeding it. So when you heat it up and you hit this corner first, it's going to pull some of the vinyl from over here to fill up that spot. So that's what I end up doing here. And then I left all this open on this side because I had to feed all the air out, and the air has to go somewhere. If it doesn't, it's just going to get stuck. So right now it's perfect. Except I gotta trim around this edge here and then just lay it flat. All this is covered up by the door handle. Over here, I got it cut to the, or I got it laid to the edge. I'm gonna trim that open, pull the little latch, open the door, pop this off a little bit right here and heat this flat. And I think we should almost be done with this this door here. Just to release the door a little bit. So now I can pull this out, and that's it. Another tip I want to give you guys is every single time you work on one panel, get a new blade. They do dull out pretty easily. So right now my blade's getting dull, but most of my work is almost done. So alright guys, so there you have it. This is pretty much how you would wrap a door. It's pretty easy for the most part. Just take your time on complex areas like the recessed door handle section and corners and things like that. always want to flap back on the vinyl and check to see if you have full coverage. Since my car is blue, I want to make sure everything is fully covered. That's very important because you don't want people to see the color underneath it. So yeah, pretty straightforward. This film is really, really nice. I really like the Demon. It's kind of thick, but it's expected since it's gloss. It has a little bit of orange peel, but not too bad. This color is really, really nice. It looks really great on the camera. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it here. Pretty lengthy. Sorry about the length of the video, but I hope you enjoyed it as well. Like I said, be sure to check the comments or the section below. I'm gonna leave links to all the stuff I use in this video. Also, like, comment, and subscribe if you're a new-time viewer. If you're excited to see how this car is gonna look like in its new setup, stay tuned. I'm gonna make more videos. Probably gonna do another video on the fender, do a video on the quarter panel, bumpers, hood, things like that. So I'm trying to get as much footage as I can, and it's gonna be a good one. So until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.